This tells the story of a dark day. Now we call it Good Friday. But why? Now little ones should watch this with a grown-up.
Hi, kiddo. I'm Grandma Goody, and I'm going to tell you a Bible story. While Jesus was hanging there suffering with nails through his hands and nails through his feet, Jesus prayed, "Father, forgive them. They don't understand what they're doing." And all of the religious leaders and all the people standing around, most of them, they were making fun of Jesus. They're saying, "Oh, if you're the king of the Jews, come down off that cross." And they nailed a sign above his head, because usually they'll nail up on the cross what they were convicted of, what their crime was, why they were dying. So on Jesus's cross, he hadn't done nothing wrong. And so they just nailed a sign up there that said, "This is Jesus. He's dying because he's the King of the Jews." Now, there are 3 crosses. Now, Jesus was hanging in the middle. And there was a man over here on his right-hand side. And there was another man over on his left-hand side. And the man on his left-hand side started making fun of him and said, "Hey, if you're the Messiah, if you have all this power, why don't you get yourself off that cross and get us off too?" And then the one who was over here on the right-hand side, he yelled back to the other guy on the other side of Jesus. And he said, "Stop it. What are you saying? Have you no respect for God? You and me, we are guilty. We deserve to die. This is punishment we deserve. Jesus, this man has done nothing wrong." And then this man over here on his right-hand side, he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." And you know what that tells us? He believed in Jesus, and he believed in Jesus's kingdom. And Jesus answered him, and he said, "What I am about to tell you is true. This very day, you will be with me in paradise." It was about noontime, and strange things started to happen. At the brightest moment of the day, it was like the sun went out. The whole sky turned dark.
And suddenly, the curtain that was in the sanctuary of the temple that kept people separated from the presence of God was torn down the middle from top to bottom.
And Jesus hung there in the darkness from noon for 3 whole suffering hours. The sun had stopped shining.
Jesus cried out in a loud voice, "Father, into your hands I commit my spirit." And after he said this, he took his last breath and died.
When the Roman officer overseeing the crucifixion saw what had happened, he worshiped God and said, "Surely this man was innocent."
And a man named Joseph, who was a member of the Jewish council and a secret believer in Jesus, got permission from Pilate to take down Jesus' body. Now he was helped by Nicodemus. He was the one who had come secretly to Jesus by night, and they carried Jesus' body to a new tomb that had been cut into the rock. And they wrapped Jesus in strips of cloth.
And then they laid Jesus' dead body in that tomb.
They rolled a heavy stone in front of the door to seal it. And then everybody had to go home because it was the day of rest and no one was allowed to do any work. I wonder if Nicodemus remembered what Jesus had told him. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life.
You remember, kiddo, Grandma Goody loves you, but God loves you more, and it's going to be okay. Be sure to watch the rest of the story.